All right, this is day 3 exercises. Once again, there's about 7 to 8 exercises per day. This one we're going to work on some of your back muscles of the arm. And so, just like day 1 where we did that, we're going to do the same. We're going to go back. This is about as far back as I can go. Most people can only do somewhere between 70 degrees of this called shoulder extension. Most people can only do about 70 degrees of that. So hand in and go back. If you really want to mix it up, you can have your hand forward and go backwards. You can have your hand in, backwards, hand facing backwards and backwards. And so you have 3 options. I haven't thought much about this, so I don't know what muscles it isolates, but what you're doing is you're rotating your arm, and so I know it will isolate different muscles, and there are muscles that help stabilize your joints, and so it will help isolate different muscles to stabilize. And so, maybe you can do set 1, set 2, set 3, with your palm facing every different way. So that really helps there. The next one, you're going to bend your body somewhere about 30 degrees at your hips. You're going to have your elbow at 90 and then just go back. Okay. You can have it starting down here, but you want to go back. This really helps get the inside of your scapula, these muscles, and then it helps get the back of your shoulder muscle. That's the second exercise. If you can, ideally, it'd be better to be laying down kind of like on a workout bench and then to do it. I just don't have a workout bench. And this works well too. If you need to, grab a chair, something to help stabilize you, and then go back. That's day 2. That's exercise 2 on day 3. Next, we're just going to work on, you have 2 muscles that help right up here. The biggest one, most people call traps, but you have 2 muscles, and you can just do shoulder shrugs. Go up, down. And I realize sometimes I'm going fast. I think it's just I haven't really worked out in a while since I've gained this more knowledge. Try to go slow. Go slow up. If you want, you can have resistance. You can just have it hanging here. Go up and down. That'll help work on those. Next is, we already talked about your elbow, the 3 different exercises. The next one, palm down, do a flexion. Palm down. This one's harder for a lot of people, especially keep your elbow tucked in. If you need to, try some way to hold your elbow in with your other hand. It helps me with the weight. You can't naturally go to 80. You can only go roughly about 70 degrees of, it's called pronation. You can only do about 70 degrees pronation. And so when you come up, you can see my hand's not perfectly flat. That's your joints and your muscles, or that's your joints and bones preventing you from going further. And so it will be okay if your hand is slightly turned in. Important thing, keep your hand tucked and try your best to keep your palm facing down. Next, so the day 2 on the abs, or day 1 and 2 on the abs, we really worked on, you have a transverse abdominis and then your rectus abdominis, which are those 6-pack abs. Most people just call it abs. Then you have muscles kind of in your upper ribs and down here. These are called your external and internal rotators. And what they do is they help you twist. And so we're just gonna twist. That's all you have to do. I would do about 30. So 1, 2, 3, 4. You can have weight. Weight will make it harder. It'll also work out these muscles that you might be sore. You can hold it down here and twist, or you can just twist. We'll just start with those twisting for now. It might not feel like much, but it's really helping get those muscles, helping them get going and more nerve intervention to them, and yeah. Next, we're gonna work on our front hip muscles again. If you feel like your front hip muscles are too sore from day 1 and day 2, feel free to skip this one. This one is kind of tougher. You don't need to do it. A lot of people call it scissors. And that's just where you go up, down, up, down. Some people like to work out their abs while they do it. And this is working out abs too. But if you have your leg down, it's just going to work on... you have 2 muscles, iliacus and psoas major, which connect your hip to your femur. It's really going to work on these 2 muscles, the two primary muscles that do that. So go up, down, and you want to do, once again, somewhere between about 20 to 30, 3 to 5 sets, each leg. And so that would be 1 right there, 2, 3, and then of course slow it down. You don't need to be going super fast. You don't want to let your leg just drop. You want that muscle to still be slowly letting your leg go down. If your hip are sore or your abs, feel free to skip this one. It's fine. Next thing, we're going to kind of work on your lower butt and your hamstring muscles, just like we did earlier with the legs with the TheraBand or the resistant band. We'll do the same. If you can, ideally have it hooked up to a chair, have it hooked up to something concrete, whatever you can do, and then stand and then go back. If you can start up forward, that's great. Go back. Remember, range of motion is ideal. We want that range of motion. And then that's really going to work on that. Last workout of day 3 are squats. Squats do 2 things. They work out your quads, these muscles here, and it really works on your gluteus maximus. When you do the squat, I like to have my feet just barely shoulder width apart. They're not further, they're not closer than my shoulders. They're not too far out from my shoulders. Every person is different. It all depends on their anatomy and it depends on their build. Some taller people are different than shorter people. Their legs are different. A lot of people also will have their toes pointed out a lot of people have their toes pointed in. For me, it's comfortable just to have it pointed at about a 7-degree angle. I go down, try to kind of keep your back straight. I'm not perfect at squats. I've never really done them, but just starting out, squats are a good thing for your butt and your quads. If you need help to stabilize, hold on to something, really stabilize. If that's too hard, you hear a lot of people do the wall squats. I always kind of feel like this is cheating because you're up against the wall. I mean, it works. This really works on your quads more than your butt, and so squats really help work on your butt more than just your quads. Those are all the exercises for day 3. If you have any questions about any of these exercises, if any muscles are too sore after week 1, let me know. Keep in contact. We can revise things, we can re-edit things, if joints start to become sore and start to hurt, if you're starting to work out, that's probably natural. It'll happen, but as you keep working out and we find different ways, it will be better. I recently have come to the understanding that the resistant bands are easier on the joints than like dumbbells or other sort of weights. I haven't looked at any of the studies, so I don't understand all that. I've just heard that. I don't know if it's true, just a lot of people I've heard have reported that the TheraBands and resistant bands are easier on their joints. And so if you can implement those as much as possible, if you're using weights, and and you can switch to a TheraBand, do it. Obviously, if you can put a TheraBand under your foot, come on, sure. If you can get a TheraBand under your foot, you can do the bicep curls. My jump rope isn't a TheraBand, so it won't stretch, so I can't go full range of motion here, but you get the idea. And so there's different things. Try to be creative. I don't know what you have. I don't know where you're going to be exercising. I don't know what's at home, what's at garage, what you have access to. So TheraBands are great. If you need different levels of TheraBands, I would suggest getting them. As I've been thinking more about this, I think I'm going to get myself a set of TheraBands so I can start working out and exercising more. Let me know if you have any questions.